2020 promises another year of big debates, big projects, and big challenges in the world of urban planning. So let's talk about the trends to watch this year. Every now and then, a trend emerges with the potential to completely transform how we live, work, and travel around cities. At the beginning of 2020, the growing number of cities blocking drivers from busy streets represents that kind of transformational potential. In recent months, New York City prioritized bus transit on a heavily congested stretch of 14th Street in Manhattan. San Francisco blocked Market Street to almost all automobile traffic. Los Angeles blocked Uber and Lyft from the terminal area of LAX, and Portland has launched the Rose Lane project, which is racking up new and planned bus priority zones. New York City will also be the first in the country to implement a congestion pricing scheme, charging drivers to enter a large, busy section of Manhattan. These are bustling corridors, major routes across town, and significant hubs for retail and commercial activity. This new approach to transportation priority could be evidence that U.S. cities have had enough with the congestion, air pollution, and collisions associated with automobile dependence. On the other hand, Americans are buying larger and larger cars in larger and larger numbers and building more and more roads. Collectively, the United States is emitting more carbon than ever. But if more transit priority plans are approved by the end of this year, this trend could be considered a movement. Numerous cities around the country are adopting free and reduced fares for the use of public transit. Transit ridership has been dropping in most cities in the country for years, so some cities are luring new and returning riders to the system with these financial incentives. Kansas City leads this trend, recently announcing free transit throughout the city. Other cities are discussing whether or not to follow Kansas City's lead. Some cities and regions have reduced fares for low-income riders, and others offer free transit to students. But the free and reduced fare transit idea is controversial, even among ardent transit advocates. Some of these advocates argue that such programs reduce the amount of money available for buses, trains, drivers, new routes, maintenance, and everything else that transit systems rely on to operate. According to this argument, free transit means less transit. The sprawling growth of urban areas in the Southwest was delayed by the Great Recession, but Phoenix and Tucson are booming again, and developers are looking to the desert for places to build. Heated debates about the future of Phoenix have focused on public transit, for instance, and while city officials and developers make plans to build vertically in the downtown area, many developers are looking to the fringe for space to grow. After a landmark drought agreement among states located along the Colorado River, a more sustainable approach to water seems possible. But new developments are creating conflicts between communities on the edges of Arizona's urban areas and the agricultural interests in rural parts of the state. Phoenix is only one case study in a larger story about the return of sprawl in the post-recession United States. Sprawling development patterns are also spreading across Texas, Idaho, Colorado, Florida, Nevada, and California, among others. The question is not whether U.S. regions will sprawl in 2020, but how far. In December 2019, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear a case called Martin versus Boise that should make it harder for cities to forcibly relocate homeless people living in public. Meanwhile, the homelessness crisis has become an ideological punching bag. Media observers are warning that the Trump administration could be on the verge of drastic action on the homeless situation in California as the state continues to account for most of the nation's homeless population. The human rights and public health crises of homelessness won't be solved by the end of the year. And unfortunately, this could be a trend that continues to head in the wrong direction. That's it for now, but if you read the Top Trends article on Planetizen, you can find a ton more details and links on all the stories I mentioned here. And as always, Planetizen will be spending the year following the news and providing commentary to keep you in the loop on these trends and a lot more as they play out.